Welcome to World Code Updates, your daily briefing on everything happening around the world. The winds of Batanes have always been fierce, but now a new storm brews, one of global politics. This northernmost Philippine province, a remote archipelago, is suddenly at the center of international tension. For centuries, the Ivatans built stone homes and read the skies, surviving nature's wrath. But today, the threat is not typhoons, but superpowers clashing over strategy. Headlines now mention Batanes alongside Taiwan and the South China Sea. The United States and China are the players, the Ivatans, unwilling pieces on a global chessboard. Their tranquil home is now a strategic prize, its fate tied to decisions made far away. The shift began quietly. Unfamiliar ships on the horizon, military aircraft overhead, and new construction projects. Life rooted in tradition is being reshaped by outside forces. The global spotlight brings both protection and risk, making Batanes a potential flashpoint. Its location is critical, just south of Taiwan, astride the vital Luzon Strait. Any conflict here would send shockwaves through the global economy and could ignite a wider war. The islands are no longer just a home, they're a front line in a struggle for dominance. The Ivatans now live on the brink, their future uncertain. The world watches Batanes not for its beauty, but for its strategic value. The Luzon Strait is a maritime superhighway, its control is coveted by all. The peace of these islands is fragile, threatened by forces beyond their control. The Ivatans' resilience is being tested as never before. Their story is no longer just about survival, but about navigating a storm of global consequence. In Batanes, the winds of change are blowing harder than ever. The eye of the storm is here. Geography is destiny, and for Batanes, it's never been truer. This chain of 10 islands, only 3 inhabited, sits closer to Taiwan than Manila. Just 120 miles of water separate Batanes from Taiwan, making it a natural watchtower over the Luzon Strait. This strait is a superhighway for global trade and a critical route for undersea data cables. If closed, the impact on the world economy would be immediate and severe. For China, the Luzon Strait is a gateway to the Pacific. For the US and allies, Batanes is a defensive anchor. Surveillance and missile systems here could block or detect any hostile moves. Military strategists call this access denial, making it costly for adversaries to move through. Batanes' location transforms it from a remote outpost to a linchpin in Indo-Pacific security. As China's military grows, the urgency to secure Batanes intensifies. The islands now connect the security of the Philippines to Taiwan, Japan, and beyond. What happens here has global implications. Defense ministries in Washington, Tokyo, and Canberra are watching closely. Batanes is now a small dot with immense strategic weight. Its fate is tied to the ambitions of great powers. The world's eyes are fixed on these islands. Geography has made Batanes indispensable. For generations, the Ivatans lived by the rhythms of nature, fishing, farming, and community. Their Bayanihan spirit built a resilient society proud of its heritage. But now the island's peace is shattered by military helicopters and construction. Soldiers from Manila and the US are a common sight here for joint drills and new projects. Military exercises, once unthinkable, now fill the beaches and roads. The tools of war are being tested in their backyard, a stark reminder of looming conflict. Journalists and officials flood in, bringing both opportunity and intrusion. Some locals see economic benefits, others feel exposed and uneasy. The simple act of daily life now feels like living in a fishbowl. Elders recall World War II, fearing history may repeat itself. Young people weigh new opportunities against the fear of war. Conversations have shifted, from weather and harvests to geopolitics and military bases. The psychological toll is real, anxiety shadows every day. The Ivatans' world has changed, their future uncertain. Their home is no longer just a community, but a strategic asset. The outside world's gaze is both a blessing and a burden. The Ivatan way of life is at a crossroads. Tradition and modernity now collide on these windswept shores. The island's fate hangs in the balance. The US-Philippines alliance, once focused elsewhere, now centers on Batanes. Resources pour in to transform the islands into a hub for joint military operations. New infrastructure rises, expanded ports, longer runways, advanced radar. These upgrades signal a long-term commitment to defending the northern flank. Joint drills like Balakatan are now larger and more complex, rehearsing real conflict scenarios. US Marines and Filipino troops practice landings and live fire drills, building true interoperability. The message is clear: any aggression will be met with a united front. This cooperation strengthens the first island chain, linking Japan, Taiwan, and the Philippines. For the Philippines, it means access to advanced technology and intelligence. The focus shifts from internal threats to external state-level challenges. Boots on the ground in Batanes mark a historic shift in defense policy. The islands are now a linchpin in regional security. The alliance is visible, credible, and here to stay. Batanes stands as a symbol of a new era in Philippine defense. The military buildup brings mixed emotions to the Ivitans. Some feel safer with the new defenses, others fear becoming a target. The infrastructure meant to protect could also invite attack. The Ivitans worry about losing their culture and damaging their land. Outsiders threaten to erode traditions preserved by isolation. The community is divided: security versus heritage, protection versus peace. There are no easy answers, only difficult choices. The Ivitans walk a tightrope, balancing hope and fear. Their identity and survival are at stake. Batanes' fate is tied to Taiwan, just across the strait. Any conflict over Taiwan would thrust Batanes into the front line. The Luzon Strait is vital for global trade. Its closure would cripple economies worldwide. The military buildup here is meant to deter aggression, not provoke it. Surveillance and missile systems raise the cost of any invasion. Batanes is being turned into a defensive porcupine, warning off would-be aggressors. The burden is immense. These islands are now a tripwire for global conflict. The peace of the Indo-Pacific may hinge on what happens here. The Ivitans never chose this role but cannot escape it. Every drill and radar dish is a reminder of the stakes. The world's stability could be decided in these waters. Batanes is now a nerve center of geopolitics. The island's destiny is no longer their own. New infrastructure in Batanes is pitched as dual use, serving both civilians and the military. Expanded ports and airports promise better connectivity and economic growth. But these upgrades blur the line between civilian and military targets. In conflict, an airport for tourists can become a target for missiles. The very projects meant to improve life could endanger it. Residents welcome progress but fear the hidden costs. Every new facility ties Batanes closer to global military strategies. The promise of prosperity is shadowed by the risk of war. The dual-use dilemma pulls the community in two directions. Hope and fear grow side by side. Progress and peril are now inseparable. The future of Batanes is uncertain. China views the Batanes buildup as a direct threat. Beijing warns the Philippines against playing with fire, seeing U.S. drills as encirclement. Chinese ships increase patrols near Batanes, applying constant pressure. These gray zone tactics stop short of war but create unease. China also wields economic leverage, threatening trade and investment. Manila faces a tough choice: security with the U.S. or economic ties with China. The message from Beijing is clear: there will be consequences. The Philippines stands at a crossroads, under the dragon's gaze. Every move in Batanes is watched, measured, and answered. The stakes for the islands, and the nation, are higher than ever. Batanes is now a microcosm of global power struggles. The Ivitans' fate is tied to decisions in Washington and Beijing. Their home is the front line of a new Cold War. The Philippines must balance its U.S. alliance with the reality of China's proximity. Fortifying Batanes is a bold, risky move. The world's peace, trade, and security are linked to these islands. The military buildup tests both American resolve and Chinese ambition. A single miscalculation here could spark catastrophe. The heaviest burden falls on the Ivitans, the human face of geopolitics. Their culture, land, and future are all at stake. They hope for peace, but prepare for conflict. The story of Batanes is a reminder: global strategy is lived by ordinary people. On these islands, history is being written, on the edge of the storm.